Good evening, this is the Oscar expert here with Brother Bro, and it's time to review Weapons. This is the sophomore feature for Zach Kreger, who you know as the director of Barbarian. And I think this movie does pretty much everything that Barbarian did well, and maybe even weller.
If you just want to go in completely blind to this film, I'm not going to spoil anything, but you're just going to be more blind if you don't hear the review. Like, let's just face it.
And it's a pretty good idea to go in blind. In fact, if you haven't watched any clips, don't watch any clips. If you want to know if you should see the movie, go see the movie.
Yeah, it's a really, really fun time. That's all you need to know. You're going to have a good time. It's very engrossing. Definitely one of the most entertaining films this year. A lot of great performances, really engrossing writing, some good scares as well. That's your 1 minute review. Okay, now we can talk more. So the film's about a bunch of children. They're all from the same classroom and they go missing into the night. The film is primarily about Julia Garner's character, who's the school teacher of the classroom where the kids went missing, and she becomes a pariah in the town, and maybe she has a little fight in her about, hey, I'm gonna get to the bottom of what happened. There's actually many characters that we followed, and the point of view switches every 30 minutes or so or less. It makes it for a really fun ride. Just when you think you're getting to the meat and bones of one person's story, we cut away to somebody else. I could see how some people might be like, oh man, it was just getting somewhere, but I like the way that it builds the story through these different perspectives, and each time we feel like we're getting closer to the mystery, and it's just a good time. We're just having fun getting to know the characters and seeing the web that Zach Kreger is spinning, and I really felt like I was in good hands with him as a screenwriter, because all of the characters in their own ways felt like they had strong motivations. They were willing to do what it takes to get the things that they want. And oftentimes, because you're just switching so abruptly, you don't really know how this person fits into the story, until it's I see where you're going with this. So it's a fun time.
What I liked about the experience is it really does feel like you're in the hands of the storyteller. You know that you're on the ride and you are being taken somewhere, and where that is a blast.
For a movie that's just constantly teasing, what is the larger picture here? What is the puzzle that we're solving? What does it look like when we step back? I started to get the sense that I wasn't going to be blown away, and that it wasn't going to have a deeper meaning, that it was more just having fun with the audience, but not necessarily taking them to an amazing place. It's not that twisty of a film, surprisingly. It's kind of straightforward, the way that the story unfolds, and okay, we get pieces that add up to this one kind of conclusion. It's not there's no real red herrings. And ultimately, I feel like Zach Kreger was mostly trying to make a fun film for the audience, a roller coaster ride with lots of thrills and, some unexpected comedy.
I think some of the twists in this movie are really just where comedy comes in. The beginning of the movie is very serious and a bit dour. You're just dropped into the drama of these characters. I'd heard that this movie kind of gets fun or whatever at points, and I was worried that I would feel that it betrayed the serious emotional stakes. But I think immersing you in that drama makes the world feel more real. It makes the twists feel more shocking.
I don't think it makes the twists feel more shocking.
I think
it
if
the world feel more lived in.
I think if I didn't feel that the world was so, well fleshed out, I wouldn't care as much, or I wouldn't be like, oh, whoa.
I feel like this film is actually more of a thriller than a horror film in that sense, that what it really wants to do is not horrify us, but really thrill us. And I think it absolutely succeeds in that sense. As a horror film, it didn't feel like it was doing anything really new to me. It's an exceptionally fun horror movie. I feel like in horror, there's real potential to dive into psychological elements, and this film actually really avoids doing that. It's not really about that at all. And I was kind of primed for that going in. I heard some people saying, oh, I felt a little empty after this film, so I didn't expect deeper meaning out of it. And I actually kind of think that's the way to go, is not to hope for that. I also felt like the very last beat, I was a little thrown off. I feel like it could have chosen a more poignant moment to end on. I didn't really feel it hit me very hard.
I feel like that should have been the last beat.
Yeah, I think I see what they're going for, but it just didn't feel very powerful to me at all. I could hypothesize something, but it's not that much. I don't think the film had a lot of substance under it that it could have capitalized on. I don't think that
the movie was trying to have substance. No. I would be shocked if I heard anybody arguing that it does. Yeah. It's like Barbarian. It gives you the unexpected, it gives you dark comedy, it gives you some scares, but really a lot of mystery and thrills. But by the end, I did feel kind of hollow about it. I was having so much fun for parts of it, and I was so immersed in the storytelling that I didn't really think I would mind if the movie doesn't say anything. But the more distance I have from it, I saw an hour ago, it does make it feel a little fleeting. The character's drinking problem in the beginning, or this conflict that happened over here, it's all kind of for naught. Like, it is world building. It does have some service in the story. Right. But it wouldn't really be a good second watch, I think.
I know, I agree with that. Like, I feel like I'm not going to get anything if I see this film again, because there's not that much up the sleeve of Zach Cregger, except for just more plot. You know, just getting you to the end of the story, and then you get there, and then that's it. Like, there's nothing else to marinate in.
And, like, he does it well enough that, like, I will continue to, like, see his movies for this reason. Now that he's 2 movies in, and we can kind of see patterns in his style and the stories like he likes to tell, I feel like he might serve the kind of role that, like, oh, like the new Jordan Peele, the new M. Night Shyamalan, like, we're in the hands of somebody
Jordan
who's
Peele.
No, I know that Jordan Peele is a much deeper filmmaker, but just in the sense that I'm going to get a certain kind of ride, and I'm in the hands of, like, this filmmaker who I know likes to throw me around.
In the vein of M. Night Shyamalan, I'm always disappointed by the ending. Like, it feels like we're almost robbed of something. I didn't feel that way about Weapons. I thought, like, the movie was consistent. The ending didn't disappoint me. Like, it didn't throw in some, like, wacky explainer that just feels like it throws everything off. It didn't try to have a twist that feels like it's just forcing something to be in place. It was straightforward, but it didn't go in the wrong direction for me. I like that the third act was just really fun, and I think leaning into, again, those thrills is what makes this film special. I really can't understate how entertaining this was. I mean, I think it kind of has a similarity to TV in the sense that we get to know many characters. It's very engrossing. Like, we don't want to stop watching. We're always kept on the edge of our seat. Kind of like a mini series. But I do wish, like, for the amount of time you spend with the characters, it was kind of for something other than just to, like, tell the story in a different way. It could have explored the psychologies or, like, united the characters in some way, and it didn't. It didn't really try.
Yeah. I guess for some people, like, that is more than enough, because the hype that this movie has right now is, like, a lot of people are saying it's, like, one of the best of the year. And I think
that happens with so many horror films. Like, I can't even tell you. It happens with, like, every horror film.
It definitely happened with
Hype to the high heavens, like Long Leg.
At the same time, like, on the level of just being engrossed in the story that is in front of me while I'm watching it, and being, like, thrilled and kind of on board with the tonal shifts and everything, like, it was, in those respects, like, one of the strongest movies I've seen this year so far.
Yeah, it had moments where I was like, oh shit, or like jumped in my seat. It has some really terrifying scares. So it's a good ass time, you know, go see it with your friends, get a bucket of popcorn and munch out on that, you know.
Yeah, definitely go see this with your buddies. Your most terrified buddies.
We have one of those in the room. Terrified. She's our groupie, and so is this. Performances, I really like Julia Garner here.
Oh yeah. Julia Garner always exceeds my expectations. She's always just so believable in every beat.
Alan Ehrenreich I really liked in his scene across from Julia Garner at the bar. Like, I feel like they really ate that scene up. Josh Brolin gives a really solid performance here. It was great to see Benedict Wong here, because I feel like we're so used to seeing him as, like, a side character in an action film. And I really loved Amy Madigan. That was maybe the standout performance for me.
Yep.
I really liked that character, and I just had a great time with her. It felt really good to see a movie like this, because it felt very original and like the kind of story that we're not used to seeing treated with such a healthy budget. Like, it felt very cinematic, felt very immersive, you know, but it felt like we were witnessing a story that's not just a cutout or a repeat of something that we've already seen. And that has the potential to really knock the audience's socks off.
And to do well at the box office. This is another opportunity for people to show studio-produced original films that, like, we're willing to show up, so go show up. I mean, you know, show up for everything that's good, obviously, but, like, you know, I'm going to be rooting for this one to do well.
Yeah, I think Zach Cregger is really exciting. You know, I do wish he got a little deeper. I wish that about Barbarian. I wish the same thing here.
As much as I want to be, like, fully on board with, you know, the movie doesn't have to do anything deeper. Like, it can just be irreverent fun. Like, this movie had delicious enough performances and character drama. It didn't have to do that much to go just a bit further with that. Like,
it felt like it should have been more meaningful, because they they took the time with the characters, they bothered to explore them and flesh them out.
Right. Like, I loved Hundreds of Beavers, and that doesn't have depth, but it has as much as it kind of needs and, like, indicates that it should have.
Highly recommend it, but I might give it a very, very good 7 or a light 8. I don't know which one.
Yeah, I'm in between those two also. Like,
let's just leave it there then.
Well, on Letterboxd, you kind of gotta put the rating in.
Letterboxd, you gotta do the rating. It's a good reason to follow my Letterboxd. Actually, I will critique it for this thing. I felt like there were some things that just did not get addressed or resolved in the ending. I gotta say, like, there are just some pieces where I'm like, you needed to flesh that out. Like, what happened? Why didn't we, like, know more about that? And actually, for that reason, I'll give it a 7. Because I would say, like, oh, the movie was, like, a great version of itself. But that actually makes me be like, yeah, but you didn't do that. You didn't go all the way there.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing.
How are you going to make sure your child doesn't run away?